All right. Um, Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. We're really glad to have you and to have this chance to share more about the Early Childhood Educator Apprenticeship Program here in Durham County. To kick it off, we're just going to introduce ourselves from this collaborative team that's working together to put this program on for our participants. So my name's Maggie, and I work for Child Care Services Association on the Durham Pre-K team as the Workforce Support Program Manager. And Kathy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Colley-Robinson. I'm the chair of our education programs at Durham Tech. So I oversee and I teach our early childhood courses as well as our teacher prep courses. So I'm happy to be here with you all tonight.
Yes, and we're so grateful to y'all for your interest in this program and hope that we'll be able to kind of give an overview of the different components of the program, what you can expect from it, whether you're already working in early childhood or if you're interested in getting your start in the field, whether you're already enrolled at Durham Tech in early childhood or whether you'd be new to Durham Tech. So really we're going to cover a lot of the different moving parts related to this apprenticeship program, which is also brand new for our community. It just started about a month ago. So we're all building it together and learning as we go. Kathy, you want to start us off?
Sure. So, before we really get into the nitty-gritty of apprenticeship and what we offer at Durham Tech, I think it's just really nice to see what are all of the different careers that one can have in early childhood education. Quite often, the only career that comes to mind when you think about early childhood education is teachers. And for sure, early childhood teachers are the most important aspect of the early childhood profession. If you've ever had me as a teacher, or if you ever have me as a teacher, you're going to hear me say over and over and over and over again that teachers are the most important thing. Everything we talk about with quality and early childhood education, it all comes down to the teachers. So I cannot celebrate and say enough great things about early childhood teachers. However, there are also a lot of other careers that you can have in early childhood education. So what this slide is showing, this is breaking down like the four big categories when we think about the early childhood profession. This aligns up with something from the NAEYC, Power to the Profession, something that we reference a lot in early childhood. And so what you can see, the four categories are, you can be an early childhood educator. That means you're working directly with young children every single day. You can be an early childhood teacher in a childcare setting, in a school setting. You can be a family childcare provider in your own home. You can be a school age provider where you're caring for children in before and after school hours, as well as a teacher of exceptional children. Then we have these other categories that are one step removed from working directly with young children. That second category of administrators, we're looking here at our child care center owners and directors, as well as our technical assistant providers, folks that might work with Child Care Services Association who will come visit you in your classroom and in your child care center to help you navigate challenging behaviors or to get ready for a star-rated license visit. Then we also have individuals who are regulators who work for the state of North Carolina or with some federal agencies to ensure that your program is meeting all of the requirements. As well as we have assessors in early childhood education. These are individuals who will come in and they might be assessing your classroom for the scales, for the environmental rating scales. Or if you're in a national accredited program, they'll come in and do an assessment on your accreditation. Then we also have a category of what we call trainers, people like me, higher education faculty folks. So in higher education, we primarily teach at community colleges like at Durham Tech, but also at all of the universities. And then we also have professional development specialists. I would say Maggie is kind of like a professional development specialist. This is someone who is helping those within the field of early childhood education really navigate all of their professional development pathways and opportunities. And then this last group is just the other category. And so we have family support specialists. These are individuals who work directly with families in a lot of different ways, as well as researchers. Like, how do we know about how children's brains are growing? How do we know about all of these impacts of the first years of life. All of that comes from research. So when you look at these careers, what I want you to know is that with more education you get, so once you have your associate's degree, awesome, keep going and get a bachelor's degree, and then maybe even a master's degree, and then maybe even a PhD. So the three boxes, the administrators, the trainers, and the other supporting roles are going to require more than an associate's degree. So just keep that in mind. Your pathways in early childhood education really do increase with more education that you receive. All right, I think we're ready for the next slide, Maggie.
Great, thank you, Kathy.
Sure.
So what is an apprenticeship? Most often, I think we've heard of it associated with things like construction or manufacturing, but it can also apply to fields like early childhood. And what it really breaks down to is it's a paid position. So it's not an internship, it's a paid position working, in our case, more than likely full-time, so 30 hours per week or more, combined with on-the-job learning, where you're being paid to receive that training while you're working in the classroom with children. And then you also get to layer on college coursework, so related instruction that's helping to build your skills, not just kind of what you're learning on the job, but also really back it up with the theory, the knowledge, the research related to early childhood education, and build your skills and readiness to practice those in the classroom with kids. And all of that leads to both a nationally recognized credential through the U.S. Department of Labor as an early childhood educator under the Department of Apprenticeship, as well as the college credits that you're earning along the way and building up towards an associate in applied science and early childhood education. Within each of these, there's sort of different perks. So for your paid position as an apprentice, you'll receive incremental bumps in your wages along the way as you achieve milestones through the program. And for your on-the-job learning, you'll also be paired with a mentor teacher whose role is really to support you, guide you, encourage you along the way, especially if you're newer to the field, just making sure that you have someone to talk to when you have a hard day, because they're going to come. And even if you've been in the field for a while, so that you have an additional line of support that's a peer or a more experienced educator who's already achieved the degree that you're pursuing through this program, who can be a sounding board whenever issues pop up, whether that's at work or if that's in your college coursework. And then for your college coursework, the big perk is that the tuition and books are 100% covered. So you get a full scholarship to cover those costs, so you're not coming out of pocket. And then any additional financial aid or grants that you may qualify for will be on top of that, so that you can also have additional support for your cost of living while you're going through the program. And then Kathy will talk about this in a bit more depth later, but the really beautiful thing about early childhood coursework at Durham Tech is that they have really built their courses to cater to their student population, many of whom are working full-time and are parenting at the same time that they're in school. So they've built their classes with that in mind. So online classes, evening classes with options for in-person if you prefer that modality. And then also with some courses that are available entirely in Spanish or in bilingual formats. So lots of great options within the community college coursework that Kathy will talk about more. So just to share a little bit more about what the apprenticeship looks like from the perspective of a participant, the big bonus is that free college degree. So the scholarship will support you all the way through your associate degree in early childhood education. And then if you choose to continue on towards your bachelor's, there's a companion scholarship then that will support you towards your bachelor education in early childhood. You'll be getting those wage bumps along the way, completion bonuses. And then there's also some flexible resources. So because the classes are online, we of course want you to have a reliable computer and internet connection. So the program can also support around computer, internet assistance as needed. If there's other things that you need that just pop up related to success, whether it's on the job or in the classroom, then we're also here to support really holistically. If you have your own childcare needs, we're here to support with that and figuring out what you may need, whether it's to return to work or to take on this additional leap of taking college classes as well. So if you are already working in early childhood, then apprenticeship is built to work with your current position. So our program is specifically, I fast forwarded, sorry. One caveat, just in case we have any high school students who are on the call this evening, I wanted to make sure to mention that there is an option that doesn't require full-time work, where you can do something called a pre-apprenticeship. So if you're a current high schooler or a recent graduate as well, you can do a pre-apprenticeship that basically isn't a full-time job, but allows you to have that work-based learning, depending on the center, it could be unpaid or paid, but certainly some offer these as paid positions. And then you get that related instruction support from Durham Tech or through your high school, depending on where you're attending high school. So if you're a high school student, we can definitely connect about that further. Just wanted to make sure to mention it. So yeah, if you're currently working early childhood and you're working in Durham, then you can earn your associate's degree up and then also receive support up through your bachelor's degree while you're working. Our program is specific to Durham County, but if you're working in a different county and you're interested in apprenticeship, then our surrounding counties are also building these partnerships and pathways and support, and we're glad to help you connect with the right person in your county as well. If you are not yet working in early childhood, then this program is also built to help you then secure that position in early childhood, get your initial certifications so that you can get started in the field, get started in the program at Durham Tech if you're not already enrolled, towards your associate degree to begin earning the North Carolina Early Childhood Credential. I think Kathy will talk more about as well, and other certificates along the way. So basically get you started on your career and your educational path to get the certifications and credentials you need to get working and get your first position in the field as well. If you've worked in early childhood before, but maybe you left the classroom for any number of reasons, you're interested in returning, and maybe you have some prior credits from previous community college or university programming, you can jump right back into that through the apprenticeship program and receive this support towards finding a new position in the field, as well as continuing on towards the progress that you already started on your degree. And then if you're an experienced early childhood educator who's just on the line and interested in learning about what this apprenticeship program is all about, experienced early childhood educators can participate as mentors in the program to support apprentices building these skills and honing their work with working with children in the classroom. To be eligible for the apprenticeship program, the most important requirement is that you really have a passion for this work, for supporting the development of young children, and that you're interested in really pursuing it as a career. Apprenticeships do help you to secure a job, but they're really about much more than a job, because they're about building those foundations for your career pathway, building that degree that's going to help boost you in your career pathway and set you on a path, just as Kathy described, to explore lots of different options in the early childhood field. To participate as an apprentice, you do have to be authorized to work in the United States. And then you either have to be already employed or able to be hired in a licensed early childhood setting in Durham for our program in particular. So to be hired, centers will do certain required screenings as a part of what they're required to do by the state, including passing a TB test and criminal background screenings. And we'll support you through that process as you have to get those different pieces as you explore job opportunities as well. And then in working in a childcare program to participate as an apprentice, you do have to be in a position working directly with children, because all the on-the-job learning is really about building those skills, working directly with children. So not the owner of the childcare program or support staff, like office staff, kitchen staff. It's meant to be in the classroom. The hours you'll get credit for the apprenticeship are going to be the hours that you spend working directly with kids. How long's the program? What does this look like? What are we talking about? So the full apprenticeship completion it's a 2-year estimated timeline to complete the on-the-job learning, equivalent to about 2 years of full-time work or 4,000 hours on the job. And then completion of the early childhood education transfer associate degree or non-transfer associate degree. And Kathy will talk more about what exactly those different paths are, and what you can really expect from those degree options. So it is a decent commitment. You do get credit for time you've already spent working in early childhood. You get credit for those hours. And I can talk more about that as well, and you also get credit, of course, for any college courses you've already completed towards these degree prior to joining the program. So you don't have to retake a class. And if you've been working in the field for a while, you don't start from zero in your paid on the job learning hours. You get a boost based on the length of time you've been working in the field.
Okay, so now it's my turn to tell you about what we offer at Durham Tech. So on the next slide, in the next few slides, I will talk about our short term. So let's start there. So at Durham Tech, we offer 3 certificates. Each certificate has 5 classes in them each. So we call these short term options because you could conceivably earn an entire certificate in 1 semester. So let's say you want to finish our infant toddler certificate. You can start in January of 2024 and be all finished with that entire certificate by May of 2024. So these certificates are a nice entry level into taking coursework at Durham Tech. Each certificate, those 5 courses are only early childhood courses. There are no English, no math, no other courses. It's just early childhood coursework. And on the next few slides, I'll show you what some of those courses are when we look at the associate degrees. And I want to show them to you that way so that you will know that all of the courses in our certificates are also in both of our associate degrees. So you can start with a certificate and then move right on into an associate's degree. So just know, short-term option, this is the beginning point for your education. And then Maggie, if you'll go to the next slide. Okay, so earlier Maggie referenced we have 2 degrees. The first degree I want to tell you about is our early childhood education non-transfer associate's degree. And this non-transfer degree, it's what it sounds like. It is for individuals who want to get an associate's degree and stop their education with the associate's degree. They're not wanting to continue on and get a bachelor's degree. I will let you know that with just the associate's degree in early childhood education, that is a great place to be, and that will allow you to work directly with young children. You can be a lead teacher in a childcare center. You can be a family childcare provider. You can also be a level 2 childcare center director. So that means you can be a childcare center director in a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, or 4-star center. You couldn't be a director of a 5-star center with just the associate's degree. For that, you would need at least a bachelor's degree. You can also be an instructional assistant, an IA, or an assistant teacher in the public school setting, work in Head Start, childcare centers, or again, the before and after school program. So on the next slide, if you can see all these classes, it's a little tight fit, but here, these are all of the courses in the non-transfer associate's degree. For now, don't worry about the blocks that you're seeing. I will let you know that at Durham Tech, we are transitioning to having what we're calling, well, we're going to stop calling them mini masters, but everything's going to be offered in 8-week format. So this is going to look like a little bit of a different structure. for next fall, for fall of 24. But what this does show you, this shows you all of the classes in the non-transfer degree. So if you're looking at this, you're going to see a lot of EDU. EDU are our education courses. And so when this shows that the majority of this degree are EDU courses. Now, on that previous slide, I told you about those short-term certificates. So here are the courses in the short-term certificates. So there are 3 courses that are in all 3 of the certificates. EDU 119, do you see that in that first fall semester 2021? There's that EDU 119. That's the Intro to Early Childhood Education course, or the credential course is what you often will hear it referred to. Completing EDU 119 with a grade of C or higher you'll be eligible to receive the North Carolina Early Childhood Credential, which is one of the requirements right now to work in childcare. EDU 119, we offer that every semester. We offer that online. We offer that in the bilingual and the bilingual English-Spanish format. And at least once a year, we offer it on campus as well. So then the next course that's in all of the certificates in the 2 degrees is EDU 153. So if again, you look in that first box, that fall 2021, you'll see the EDU 153. The next course is EDU 131. That's in the spring 2022 box. Certificate, we have 2 unique courses. So in the infant toddler certificate, there's also 144 Child Development 1 and EDU 234 Infants, Toddlers, and Twos. Again, you're seeing both of those courses in this degree. But then if you want to do the Child Development certificate, you would take Child Development 2 and Child Guidance. Those courses are also in this degree. And then if you wanted the Admin certificate, you would take Admin 1, EDU 261, and Admin 2, EDU 262. So just so that you can see, all of those courses in the certificates are also in the degree. So we call those stackable. So I'd just like to point out what some of the coursework looks like at Durham Tech. What are you going to be learning about? You're going to be learning about child development, which is critical for working with young children. You need to know why they're doing what they're doing, how their brains are forming, how you can support them in their development. You're learning about child guidance. You know, when children are exhibiting some challenging behaviors, how do you help support them in a way that's going to help them really grow and develop to their fullest potential? We have a class called Children with Exceptionalities. This is understanding special needs, understanding how to support children who may learn differently, who may need extra supports. We have practicum courses, a language and literacy course. It's a lot of variety in these courses. We really strive to make all of our early childhood courses really applicable. So everything you're learning about, we want you to be able to use directly with young children. We want it to be interesting and exciting for you. And also, we really believe that having the early childhood coursework will make your job working with young children even easier and more fulfilling. So this is the non-transfer degree. And then on the next slide, Maggie, we've got details about the transfer degree. Okay, so this is the transfer degree. And the transfer degree is for individuals who do want to keep going after Durham Tech and earn a bachelor's degree in early childhood education. So in essence, this early childhood transfer degree, it's the first 2 years of a 4-year bachelor degree. Our transfer degree is the result of what we call an articulation agreement. So that's a big agreement between the North Carolina Community College System and the UNC system, as well as independent universities and colleges in North Carolina. Pretty much in North Carolina, any university that offers early childhood education will accept your credits. Our transfer degree will transfer right into to pretty much any university in North Carolina that's got that. So just so you are aware, there are different career opportunities. Once you get that bachelor's degree, you might remember on this slide with the career opportunities, I was saying that once you get more education, you have more opportunities in your career. And that's what you'll see with these 2 arrows. Once you've got a bachelor's degree, if you go and get the birth through kindergarten teaching licensure, then you can be a teacher in a public school setting or a public school pre-K or kindergarten. You can also be a lead teacher in Durham Pre-K here in Durham. You can be that level 3 childcare center director. That means you can be the director of a 5-star center. And then there are also lots of opportunities outside of working directly with young children at places like Child Care Services Association, the Division of Child Development and Early Education, United Way, and so on. So more opportunities open up once you have that bachelor's degree. So now let's look at the courses for this transfer degree, because it's a little bit different. So right off the bat, what you will start to notice is that there are more classes that don't say EDU, right? We're looking at more English classes, more math classes, more science classes. So the transfer degree, it is half early childhood courses and half non-early childhood courses, or what we call those general education courses. Again, all of the early childhood courses, you will see for the most part, most of these are also in that non-transfer degree. The certificate courses are in this degree as well. And those early childhood courses, again, online, bilingual, on campus, and in the 8-week format. I mentioned earlier, Durham Tech is moving to this 8-week format. So pretty much every class, with the exception of maybe biology, will be offered in that 8-week format. So you'll be able to move along at a pretty steady pace if that's something that you're interested in doing. You know, I won't go into all the details of this, but there are 2 pathways within this degree. And the pathways just mean that you take 2 courses for one pathway or 2 different courses for another pathway. But if your long-term goals are to get teaching licensure, to have that North Carolina birth through kindergarten teaching licensure, then that would be one path that you would follow. But if you're thinking you're not wanting to do the teaching licensure, if you're wanting to move your career into more outside of working directly with young children, then you would do that non-licensure route. So that is the courses. And then on the next page, I just show you where you can transfer to. And just a little caveat, this slide is just showing where you can transfer to within the UNC system. That articulation agreement that I mentioned earlier between the community college system and our independent colleges and universities, that's a very brand new agreement. It was just signed. And so I don't have the latest list of those universities, but for sure, these are the universities within the UNC system that will take your entire degree, and you can transfer right in as a junior. I will tell you that the majority of our students are transferring to North Carolina Central University, just right down the road, as well as UNCG, so University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Those tend to be where most of our folks are going, but we have had individuals transfer to Appalachian State. I have some students right now who are really interested in Western Carolina as well as East Carolina. So you can go wherever you want to go with the transfer. It's also helpful to know that a lot of the universities during COVID switched to online. So most of the universities now will allow you to complete your bachelor's degree in the fully online remote option as well. I think that, yeah, okay. Your turn, Maggie.
All right. So if you hear all this, you're like, yes, I'm ready to go. Whether you're already working early childhood or you're ready to get started with a position in early childhood, just a quick overview of the next steps, and we will send these as a follow-up via email too. So the first step, if you haven't already, is to complete the apprenticeship interest form, which then just gives us kind of your basic information, where you're working, if you're already working in the field, if you've already got some credits under your belt at Durham Tech, or if you'd just be getting started at Durham Tech. And then from there, the biggest next steps to take care of are to go ahead and enroll in Durham Tech if you're not already, and to select one of those early childhood programs that Kathy just described. You can go ahead and select a certificate to start with if that's where you want to get started. The full apprenticeship program covers that full associate degree, but if you want to, in terms of how you enroll, just go ahead and enroll in the certificate. That's totally fine. Go ahead and submit your high school and or any other college transcripts to Durham Tech if they don't have those already. And then also go ahead and submit your FAFSA. So even though the scholarship resources that we'll be using through this program are going to cover your tuition, your fees, your textbooks, we still encourage students to submit a FAFSA, because then any additional grants that you may qualify for, that's going to be able to come to you just as a refund to help you with your cost of living while you're both working and in school. So if you're ready to go and you're really interested, then once you've filled out that interest form, then I'll be following up with you to work through some next steps depending on where you're starting from. So if you're already working in the field, one of the first things we'll do is just confirm if you're working in the field in Durham, then we'll go ahead and confirm your employer's willingness to participate in the apprenticeship program, because they're really key to this partnership and making it work, because they've got to commit to those wage increases along the way, make sure you have the mentorship and support that you need on site. We have now 14 employers who are partnering with the program already. So you may already be working at one of those employers, and I'll share that list as well at the end of the session. So that step may already be taken care of. And then the next step is to complete the Teach Early Childhood Scholarship application specifically for the apprenticeship program. And that's the scholarship that's going to cover your tuition, your fees, and your books. If you're brand new to the field or seeking a new opportunity in early childhood, then I can work with you on getting your resume ready for early childhood, tweaking it as needed, or writing a new one. And then also getting you set up on Works, which is through the Division of Child Development and Early Education for North Carolina. That's a system basically that early childhood educators register through to show your credentials, your background checks, all that stuff goes into that system. And so we'll get you set up with a profile on there. And then you can also go ahead, even before you enroll at Durham Tech, and begin attending some certification workshops through Child Care Services Association, where I work. We offer professional development, and we'll cover those registration fees for you, so you can go ahead and get certain certifications like health and safety trainings and things that you'll need once you get started in the field. You'll already have those on your resume when you start interviewing for positions. And then we'll go through all the steps to get you registered for EDU 119 with Kathy's help. So kind of walking through that enrollment process as you need, and making sure that you're able to get everything in with Durham Tech to get you registered for that first class that will earn you your early childhood credential. Yes, so we covered a lot and relatively quickly, because we especially wanted to leave room for questions, and we can backtrack and look at other information that we may have gone too quickly over. If you have questions, wanted to make sure to leave space to touch on what y'all have in mind and what questions you have. So what questions do y'all have? So one in the chat: if I work for Wake County Schools, would that disqualify me? So we have a counterpart in Wake County that we can connect you with. So I'll follow up with you and get you connected with the Wake County Early Childhood Apprenticeship Program, as well as other resources specifically to Wake County. Certainly the Teach Scholarship, you can use Teach in any county in North Carolina. So you can definitely at least use that if you're working in an early childhood classroom specifically for Wake County schools. If you have a BA already, does the scholarship still apply? Do you mind if I ask, do you have a BA in early childhood specifically? Not in early childhood. So if you, Kathy's going to be great for you to connect with, because she can help figure out where you should start. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. So, you already have a bachelor's degree, and for individuals who have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree already, it's pretty unique. I would encourage folks in your situation to go on and connect with a university, but let's you and I talk. Let's connect. And so we can have a bigger conversation about your best next steps.
And there is a scholarship at the bachelor's level. So if you were to start at the bachelor's level towards early childhood, you can still get a scholarship at that level. It's just a slightly different scholarship, but it'll still cover the vast majority of your basics there if you're already working in the field. And then next question, if you're working in Chapel Hill in Orange County, so there, in that case, it's going to depend on your employer, but I can definitely connect and follow up with you around that, and happy to support. So student was in Durham Tech back in 2009, but didn't finish and was thinking of coming back. Will your credits still apply?
Yes, yes, yes. So the beautiful thing about Durham Tech, your credits never go away. So yeah, your credits will still apply. So there might be some different classes that are in our plan of study that might not have existed in 2009. So we will match up and figure out if there's new classes you have to take, and then make sure that all of your credits do come on back with you.
But yay, welcome back. Any other questions coming up for folks? Is anyone new to early childhood and sort of thinking about a position in early childhood and have questions about how that process would work? We have someone who just joined. So we did cover a lot of the program details. We recorded it though, so I can send you the recording and then also send you the follow-up form, because we can get scheduled to connect afterwards to catch you up on the details. Thank you for joining. Totally understand. So one link I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat is a link to information about the apprenticeship program that's posted on the Durham Pre-K page. And then also on that page, let me get to the right. Place. I'll go ahead and directly link. There's an interest form that if you know you're interested, you can go ahead and fill out. It's a pretty quick online form. If you go ahead and fill that out, then the next step from there is basically going to be getting the support to go through these different pieces together and get you all set up to work with the program, all set up with Durham Tech. So if you haven't already done the interest form, then you can do that. Then that's sort of the starting point to get rolling to the next pieces.
And I just put in the chat the direct link to the application for Durham Tech, just in case you want to go ahead and get started on that process. So if you are a returning student, go ahead and just follow the steps to be a new student. For some reason, we don't have a returning student link on that application, so just follow the returning students. And just know that sometimes the enrollment process can be a little bit overwhelming at Durham Tech. You have my contact information. Please do reach out to me if you get stuck along the way, if you need any assistance navigating through that enrollment, because when you look at that apply and all of the steps, you're going to see, I think, 9 steps to enroll, and that's really overwhelming. So just reach out to me and I can help you with all of those steps.
Any other questions?
So Maggie, there's a question. Monica's responded to the link to apprenticeship that you put. That is just for the Durham apprenticeship, right?
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I wrote down our participant in Wake County to follow up and our participant in Orange County to follow up. So I'll definitely reach out to y'all to get you connected to the right people for your county. And then certainly, as I mentioned, no matter what county you're working in, you can use the Teach Early Childhood Scholarship as if you're working in early childhood already. Yay. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're also very excited about this.
I think very excited is an understatement. We're beyond excited. Yeah, but it's nice to see you all tonight. Thank you for coming.
Great. Well, certainly if as questions come up as we go through the next steps, our contact information's up here, and I'll be sending everybody a follow-up email that'll include both of our contact info as well as the different links that we referenced. And then, yeah, if you get a chance to go ahead and do that Durham Tech application, if you haven't already, the sooner the better. Just to talk timelines for a minute, just depending on the timeline in which y'all are hoping or aiming to get started and the coursework in particular. Kathy, the next sessions start
January the like 9th.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the good news about these 8-week sections that we're doing, so we have got classes that start in January. Then we have classes that start in March. Then we have classes that start in May. Then we have classes that start in August. And then we just keep going: August, October, January, March, May. So their classes always starting. So you cannot miss a starting time because we're always starting.
Yeah.
But if you want to take classes in January, do the enrollment application as soon as you can, because the enrollment process, for whatever reason, sometimes it takes multiple weeks for all of the steps to be completed, and not on your end, it's on our end. Usually takes a while for everything to process. So if you want to take classes starting in January, get your application in as quickly as possible. Durham Tech shuts down for the winter holiday on December the 19th is our last day. So you can see we're getting really close already. And so I will be working up until the 19th as well. So go ahead and get your application in. Let me know when you submit your application. Do me a favor and just shoot me an email and let me know that you have submitted the application. And so what I can do, I can start keeping an eye on your status and let you know if anything's missing and just help move that process along.
Great. And then the one more question in the chat was, do we provide help for students who don't have access to a laptop? Yes, absolutely. Since all the classes are online, we want you to not have to be doing that from your phone or from borrowing your neighbor's computer or something. We want you to be able to have full access so you can be successful in your classes. So if you don't have a laptop and you're worried about that for online classes, we'll be able to support with that. Absolutely. Great. Well, we're really glad to get to connect with all of y'all and look forward to staying in touch. I think that's everything, right, Kathy?
I think so. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.